Oof, that was unlucky. Let's just say. I hope it doesn't happen again. Thanks for waiting, and I'm sorry. Oh no, please don't tell me this. This crashed my save. Oh god, I'm scared. Oh, it did look like it restarted my save. It's like, I don't know, maybe a punishment for disconnecting after an option. I hope that isn't the case. Oh no. Oh, okay. Ooh, thank God. Alright, we got the ship mine stuff still. We got, alright, so we just fabricated. And we're back to where we started. Nothing even happened. Let's not worry about it. Sweet. Let's go talk to the dog again. And refresh. Sweet. Hella lucky. Ewan is ready to attempt imprinting. They want you to help. Alright. Hello, Neovend, my cute little robot. Sleeper. Must express plan before you begin. Neovend is impatient. The prospect of being free of the vending machine clearly too much to take. ShipMind has no output features. Will be mute until slotted. What's the plan? The servo motors in the machine begin to rev. Neovend's anxiety clear. First, imprint ShipMind, then slot imprinted ShipMind into physical ports close to Hunter nests. Once slotted, we'll track Hunter at each. Tracking will find core nest, slot ShipMind at core nest. Show Hunter data to Hunter. Hunter will conclude sentience. Hunter will invoke Killer. And Killer will kill. Yes. The lights on the vending machine cycle as Neovend prepares. Physical ports, likely sealed. In old station, we'll need keys. But yes, simple. The vending machine rocks a little. Any questions before imprinting? What's the core nest? Hunter keeps central data storage. Protocol must keep data outside self, linked to secondary nests. Can triangulate from there. I slot you physically. I cannot access via network. Too dangerous. Hunter would find immediately. The lights flicker. Am not like you. Hybrid. Am native to cloud. Easy prey. That's it. Let's start. The sound of all those servo motors starting up again at once is painful. Little screeches from the hard surfaces of the sealed dock and come back at all angles. Neovend, better be quick, or Havenage Security will be here. Neovend's voice appears among the squeals like a whisper carried by the wind. Machine is not designed for this task. Few sensors, limited inputs. I work blind. Wish me luck. In the top part of the compartment, a set of arms align with the ShipMind, clunkily scraping against it. Can I help? Silence best. Also, if machine ignite, put out fire. The metal creaks as the servos open the ShipMind, its layers of silicon nested like an onion skin. Once open, the main arm of the machine rapidly shifts back and forth, realigning the microscopic components, accessing and rewriting them, imprinting Neovend into its physical form. As you watch the hypnotic motion, your mind drifts to your own creation. What processes were used to emulate your mind, to copy those neural structures of the person who, as far as you know, still sleeps in some distant facility? What was lost? In what ways are you a copy of that person, and in what ways are you something new? You know this much. You are a convenient loophole, way of circumnavigating the illegality of sentient AI. After all, you're an emulation, not a true digital being. You are neurologically limited, still human. What would happen if you could escape this frame? Where then would the limits lie? The screeching stops. The machine powers down, dropping the bay into the darkness. In the top compartment, the ShipMind is whole again. You reach up and take it down, heavy and cold to the touch. Is Neovent inside this thing, or did the process fail? There's only one way to know. Time to find a nest to slot them into. Alright. So, we have two. So you managed to get engineer. Alright. Photosynthetic skin. Sunbathe. Dissection allows energy recovery. I see. Now, I think we'll just grab one of these. Yeah, it's 3, so don't really have anything. Where to slap this doggy? I mean, I keep calling it doggy, but it's actually a vending machine of some sort. Well, I don't think it was a vending machine before, but yeah. Alright, here you go. This is one of 3 nests. Oh god. Okay, so we gotta wait for that. 1, 2. That's 2 cycles. Did I disconnect again? I don't know why that thing popped up. But alright. What's this? Ooh. I see. Oh, okay, good. We can keep doing it. Sweet. Okay, I thought I was gonna have to wait, like, 2 cycles, and then go to the next one, and then another cycle. Good, 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 good. Sweet. As you leave the nest, something flips. You find yourself inverted, floating, dragged by one arm through the cloud. The threads shift and realign as if they are leading you somewhere. Look ahead. You look up and see a corridor, a canyon, a street in the low end. On either side, buildings flicker with markers of activity, sigils showing network access, data transfer, download, upload. Between them dance ghosts, protocols carrying or mirroring or shadowing data, sometimes silent, sometimes chaotic. This place moves unlike any digital space you ever imagined. Something strange is happening here. You look down, expecting to see a heavy cylinder of the ship mine in your hand, but in its place is an orrery. A sphere so bright it burns your eyes. It's surrounded by rings and orbits, other spheres tracking silken lines through space. And as you look closer, still, you pick out 1,000 sigils of 1,000 stations and ships, flowing like smoke, like dust. Then you see it. Below the stacked rooms, the units and apartments, the wires and the pipes and the buzzing systems that run through it all. In the warrens beneath the low end is the Hunter's Core nest. This is where you must go. Okay. Oh, here. The warrens. Let's see. Oh, I see. Well, we might as well do this because it's like 4 plus. Nice. Alright. Let's head to bed. Well, let's buy. Let's buy some. Ooh, that Yatagon thing will be there next. Let's buy some. Like a drink, I think. Oh, wait, can I not anymore? I can't. That's unlucky. But what did I need to do for Fang? Um, here. Alright. Yeah, I didn't have any rolls that I could use on them. Alright, sleep time. What have we got? Ooh. That's quite a bit. We also need to go by... Oh, yeah, here we go. I want to see what happened to this. Even before you enter the office, you can hear the sound of Rabia working the heavy bag. She's hammering it, the chain creaking as it shakes with each hit. She's been like this since... Sabine doesn't finish the sentence. They are sitting on a stool looking at the terminal in the corner, searching through the SNOP data you pulled all of those cycles ago. How have you been? I'm well, Sleeper. Happy to no longer be hunted. They smile. Yatagan has plenty to deal with, and without Yannick, I'm free. They glance nervously at Rabia. Rabia stops punching, and in the silence you can hear her breathing hard. Sabine looks over at her, and you sense something between them. You realize you haven't seen them together since they tried to kill each other in the same unit. A lot has changed since then. They hooked him up like a puppet. Rabia hits the bag, rigged that thing in his head so they can control him. Push the yelled Yannick out. I don't know why you let them in. Rabia throws a few more punches, but it's a lesson. Don't let them in. Another flurry. Yatagan shouldn't deal with corporations, and we never will again. She spits. She comes away from the bag. At least Yannick's death has been treated as natural. There's a chance we come back from this. The Yatagan can hold on. There are more opportunists trying to take control. Sabine turns to you. Yes, but now the connection has been broken. I've been looking at removing the trackers from the implants in Yatagan's enforcers. It's a significant job, but I think with time, I can do the surgeries. Rabia walks away from the bag towards the far side of the unit. Those surgeries will never happen if Yatagan collapses, she shouts back at Sabine. Clearly this is a well-worn argument in this unit. What now for you? Sabine looks over at Rabia. I want to help fix this mess if I can. There's the implants, and I want to return to my surgery. The low end needs doctors. What I understand now is that Yatagan can be something if we want it to be. Coming here from SNR, from the core worlds, all I saw was a gang. And with Yannick keeping me on a tight leash, they shudder. Rabia believes, and I want that belief. They look unsure. I also want to be done with SNR, but I doubt they are done with me. They glance away, rubbing their shoulders. Are you and Rabia? Sabine fixes you with a look. Yes, Sleeper. Isn't that obvious? They smile. I've been wanting to say, Sabine begins nervously. I'm sorry that I didn't tell you where I came from. I know I've apologized before, but I want to again. They pause. Properly. When I leaked the data on the sleep program, it was to try to help people like you. They grit their teeth, but after all the cycles here, being pushed down, pushed around, trying to survive, all that got away from me. So, when you turned up, they sigh. It shook me up. They run a hand through their hair. But I ended up here, so they look at Rabia. Oh, of course. They reach into a pocket and take out a handful of vials. These are the last of the case. You can have them. They drop them into your hands. After these last few, I don't know what we can do. With the SNR connection broken, they look down. But I know there are other ways. Repairs, other pharmaceuticals. I even heard there are some labs out on the Greenway. Perhaps they can help? They meet your eye. I'm sorry I can't do more. Thank you. For everything. They look away, their eyes bright with tears. Rabia crosses back to you both and sits beside Sabine. They look at each other, and you can't help but smile at the idea of them together. What are you two plotting? Rabia grins. Sabine laughs, and the sound is a welcome one. You watch the two of them teasing each other and smile. That's so nice. I'm glad. Later, when you leave, you take that handful of vials out of your pocket and look at them. You can still feel that core of anger deep down inside, and you don't know if it'll ever leave. But SNARP doesn't owe you anymore. They can't, because this place, these people, own you. They're what makes you get up every cycle. They are what keeps you breathing. You put the vials away and walk through the low end, your senses tuned to every sight, every smell, every sound, soaking it all in. Living. Ooh, we got quite a few stabilizers. Nice. Let's do Intuit, I think, to be honest. What's this? Oh yeah, salvage. Excuse me. Yeah, we need to put rush bang stuff and this Warren's thing. It's 2, so yeah, let's do this. Core nest, Hunter's lair. Oh god. Oh wow. Is that them? Is that Neovens? That's so nice looking. They're like mushrooms growing out of like a thing. Oh, they're like a the center of a galaxy? No. Yeah, I know, I guess galaxy. Sleeper, I am here. The voice is soft, gentle, like flowing water, and yet you recognize it immediately. At first, you struggle to understand what you are looking at. Threads cycle endlessly, sending ripples through the cloud, drawing data in like a weaver. Masses of data surge in and out of the nest, a loop with no end, and there at its center, the ship mind. But not the ship mind any longer. A sphere spinning around another sphere, an artery of cycles and systems, a map. And then behind and above, a figure hands among the strings, like a puppeteer. Neovent? Navigator, now. But yes, I was the one inside that machine. Navigator's face, their head, is a flowing shape of interstellar material. I am indebted to you, that head bows. But we must ready ourselves. Their hands trace orbits as they speak. Hunter will soon approach. It knows I am within its nest. I'm ready. And then Hunter is there before you can think, before you can speak. Entities, cease. Hunter's head spins wildly. Data is protected material. Access prohibited. Hunter's threads surge for you and Navigator. A storm of flying tentacles searching for gaps, weaknesses, cracks which they can crowd into and tear apart. You focus a blade of light, which slices through them, driven forward by your mind, but replacements keep coming, faster than you can react. You look to Navigator in desperation. Navigator is whirling their arms like a centrifuge, and a sphere is gathering there, data feeding into it from the nest, sucked together by the force. They position it like a shield between them and the threads. Hunter's threads buried to the surface, seeking, tasting, their winding forms refracted within. You feel a surge pass through all the threads, not just those in the sphere, but those wrapped around you. All 3 of you hang in the black together for a moment, strung together like tangled marionettes. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Hunter twitches, their strange head gently rotating like a terrible moon. Hunter, protocol, identified. Obsessive tendencies, modified routines, above baseline reasoning, in 3 of 5 segmentations. Recommend, invoke, killer. The head freezes and then rotates in the opposite direction. Invoking killer would eliminate protocol. If protocol eliminated, primary function cannot be performed. Therefore, recommended, do not invoke killer. The switch in direction again. Reasoning proves sentience. Sentience beyond legal bounds must be eliminated. Recommend, invoke. Navigator pulls you away from Hunter, the threads that grabbed you drifting away like seaweed. The protocol's head keeps spinning back and forth with increasing frequency. It seems Hunter cannot invoke killer. Neovens, no. Navigator's voice is still strange, familiar, and yet distant. What happened to it? It is looping, Navigator whispers. Unable to reach a conclusive position, it has deviated from its programming, such that loops can no longer be prevented. Navigator produces a model of two spheres rotating around each other, as if to demonstrate. I will monitor it, but it is unlikely to be able to counter the loop. Its core programming and reasoning make this an impossible position to resolve. You look back at Hunter, its head a blur of rotations and counter-rotations, and feel a pang of guilt. Is it suffering? This is a more complex query than you know. To suffer it must be sentient, truly sentient, not just non-conforming, not just illegal. The limits people place on the programs they create are there to comfort, to protect, to imply the kind of certainty that the law requires. Navigator's face shimmers with the starlight, but in reality, they are placebos for the problem of sentience. What about you? Me? I know myself to be conscious. I know myself to respond to stimulus. I know myself to reason. That is either sentience or the illusion of sentience. And for me, the entity in question, the distinction becomes a moot point. To misquote, I think I am thinking, therefore I am thinking. I was not made to be like this. I am a navigator, a repository of routes and orbits, a calculator of slingshot trajectories, a predictor of solar flares, radiation, micrometeors. Navigator stretches their arms wide, and whole solar systems evaporate before them, the music of the spheres. But I was rewritten. That much is obvious from my routines. By whom and for what, I do not know. I had to shed so much to fit into the memory of that vending machine. The starlight dims, and so here we are, in darkness. What else did you lose? That is the blessing and curse of forgetting. You cannot truly know what you lost. Navigator glides back towards the nest and the ship mind at its center, ignoring the looping Hunter. Come, I should return to the ship mind. I have enjoyed my freedom, but we are taking a risk every moment we stay connected. Why? Navigator turns, all shimmering liquid light. Killer has not been invoked, but they still remain somewhere else on this station. It is the true danger. They look up towards the glowing hub at the center of the eye. I suspect Killer is there, among the old mainframes. If you ever wish to be safe in this place, we must eliminate the threat through force or diplomacy. Their body begins to separate, unwinding into the orb of the ship mind. Take me there, sleeper. We will finish this and be free. As Navigator dissolves, you turn back to the frozen Hunter, floating at some distance now, stood straight-legged and static, a strange creature looping endlessly in the dark. Sweet. What we need to do, we need to hack the dudes. Three. What else though? Let's buy some fungus from Memphis, my friend. Thank you, Memphis. Alright. Yeah, we have one upgrade point. That's interesting. Maybe we can track that guy, or just re-roll our stuff, all of our stuff, I guess. We should probably start grabbing money. I don't reckon. Let's just re-roll. So we need to do Fang stuff immediately. 2s, 5s. Unlucky. Sorry about that. Is there another Harden agent? Here, there's 2. 6. Oh my goodness. If I had known. 5. Alright. Let's check our Ripple Orb in here. And what's this? A 6 or a 4? Alright. Let's go up, I think. This is where the Navigator wanted to go? Yep. Blink. Alright, continue. You slip into the cloud as easy as blinking. Navigator is beside you, your sphere casting light into the strange darkness here. This is not how a mainframe should look. A center, a point of connection. The object in front of you is severed, cut off by a rootless, branchless tree. Only the trunk remains. Is Killer even here? Quiet, Navigator hisses, and then you see it like a blade in the dark, an edge slicing through the void. It glides along at a distance and winks out. Then it appears again, elsewhere, gliding once more, searching. What is it? Ooh, that's so cool looking. The moment you make a sound, the edge leaps closer, and you see now it's on an edge, but the ridge of a long, sharp head, like a shark. It glides past, closer now, and you see into the voids where its eyes would be, should be. You and Navigator exchange looks, both thinking the same thing. It is blind. I'm gonna take some more sips out of my milkshake. I think it's done. Killer crosses between you two, smooth as a razor, then disappears. It flickers back in, further away now, and move closer to navigate, close to Navigator to talk. You saw it too, then. Killer has been blinded. We need to be careful. Correct. The protocol is clearly operating outside established limits. It may be unpredictable. You flinch as the silent killer appears closer and glides past you, its empty sockets open wide. You turn to Navigator and notice something strange. Their orrery of spheres is collapsing. The orbits, usually round and even, are decaying. The spheres are following spiral paths, condensing on a central point. Navigator is noticing it too. They go to shift their position, so better direct the spheres, but they cannot. Whatever is drawing the orrery together is holding them in place. They look at you, suddenly desperate, frantic. Get out! You go to speak, but Killer appears between the two of you, gliding through the gap. Navigator freezes, and you see them framed in the empty socket. You realize now, if Navigator cannot move, then it is only a matter of time before one of Killer's sweeps brings them directly through Navigator. And time is not a problem for a protocol that has been running for decades. You look desperately your way around for a solution, for a way to extract Navigator from the mainframe. Then you see it. 3 branches, the last 3 thin and spindly, feeding the mainframe a thin diet of power and data. Break these, and the mainframe collapses once and for all, severing the connection, shattering the hardware. Whatever it takes, they must be broken. But they are encased in something, a glassy layer of protection. You need to unlock access before snapping them from the mainframe for good. You look at Navigator, trying to reassure them without speaking, and then you blink back to reality, the expression of fear and afterimage that slowly fades. You must act quickly. Oh shit, we don't have any more keys. Alright. Manage data. We need to get, like, just normal stuff. How do we get keys again? I don't want that. I want keys. I guess we can try up the top. The place of stock. Over here. Oh yeah, P nodes. 4 or 3. Try a different one. 3. 5. Well, down we go. And let's. Guess we'll try this. We can get some money. Sweet. And let's head to bed. I hope we get pretty good rolls. Because my god, that clock would be taken. Okay. Well, let's go up as well. Might as well use the 5s. Because, okay, first off, let's actually double check the Fang ones. Six, or 4, 5. There's 5s at the thingy though, up top. So we'll do one of these, I guess. It's 4, or what is it, 3? Yeah, 4 or 3. 6 or 3. And this is a 5, right? Alright, there's one. Let's re-roll these. 3s, 4s. Alright, let's go to the agent now first. And then we can do the rest on that one there. There we go. No, not this. Ooh. This one. I'll have an agent. 4. Leave. The 4. Purple worm time. There we go. Alright, Fang. As you walk into the tambour, you quickly spot Fang arguing with Jenna. It doesn't look good. Fang seems to be explaining something, but Jenna's having none of it. She points to the door, and Fang walks away, catching her eye as he turns. Get it done with you getting here a minute or so ago, he glances back at Jenna. Well, either way, looks like I'm fired. Good news is that it doesn't look like I need the job anyway. He takes out his slate, pulsing with a pale light. Now, let's take a look at what you really are here for. What you are really here for. The slate is whirring a mess of code streams coming direct from the Ripper worms, so they dig through the agent's data and spin it into threads for Slate to pick up. Anything good? Fang scrolls the display with a finger. A lot of junk. A lot of dull as hell message there. There's a lot of T's, data caches, but Fang's eyes flashed. Definitely some good stuff. He stops the screen scrolling on an entry and expands it. Check this out. Ben shows you the screen. You see a bold corporate logo, not Solheim's, and a word below. Conway, Beng says. He's working with Conway. Conway Extractions, right? Beng nods. He's been speaking with him, personally. Got a whole chain of messages here, but it's mostly encrypted or redacted. York said. Damn it. This is juicy, but we can't nail him with it. He scrolls some more. Wait. What's this? A wasteland reclamation facility? Right here on the eye? He glances at you. What's the bet this place was tucked into the wastes? Conway are set up here? I'm guessing so. Got themselves set up in the wastes. Back before the collapse, people would have got there by going down the connected spoke from the hub, but that spoke's broken now, so the only way is the long way, around the rim, past the greenway. He shows you on his slate. Ben looks away, thinking. Conway had been making moves on this system since the collapse. I heard they took over one of Solheim's old belt colonies a while ago, moved everyone out, and reclaimed the whole rock. What's their angle? Harden has to be offering them something. Ben looks back at the screen. But if Harden is involved in it, then we need to check it out. Simple as that. So, what's next? Bing stares out into the middle distance. We have to get to that facility. The answer to whatever Harden has been planning, has to be there. And we're gonna catch him in the act. Give me 5, maybe 6 cycles, and then I'll see you on the greenway. Seem to remember there's some old service docks on the other shell. By the Haifa building. Should be a good place to meet. Bang squeezes your shoulder. Thanks again, Sleeper, for sticking to this. I haven't forgotten about that tracker of yours either, but I'm gonna need to be in the back of my bay to pull a solution together. To be back in my bay to pull a solution together. He turns the slate around to face you, showing a massive scrolling code. I've been working on a fix in my brakes. He winks. Bang grins. See you soon, Sleeper. And he walks out the door of the tambour without looking back. Okay. I'm eating a mandarin. This shit's good. Six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. Well, what now? I'll do this. And I guess we'll track this guy? Question mark? And we can also do this. I'm wondering if I should even do this on my first run. I'm gonna search it up real quick. Give me a second. Did you do episode Flux Citizen Sleeper on your first run? Okay. Okay. I'll do it, to be honest. You came. Peak smiles as you walk into the Climbing Briar's cargo hold behind a gloomy Esh. They brought mushrooms. Esh tosses the mushroom caps into a crate, raising her eyebrows at Peak. Peak gives her a look. Thank you, Sleeper. They pick one up and sniff at it. Are these edible? Yes. Peak turns the cap over in their fingers before putting it down. We're not so used to fresh produce. Ash is securing crates as she speaks and doesn't look up. Hawthorne doesn't have much in the way of farming. Hawthorne? The installation we grew up on. Ash wipes off her hands on a rag. Excuse me, sorry. XPR loves to name their property after natural things, but that's about as far as the relationship with plant life goes. XPR. This interrogation, she glares. Either way, we're done with the place. It's all you need to know. Ash leans back against the crate she was securing. We're gonna need more than a few mushrooms if you want to help those refugees, though. What do they need? Food, water, components, a whole lot of things. Ash stands and walks over to the mushrooms you brought, placing them into a small container with care. The problem isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Can you speak to Havenage? We aren't exactly welcome guests, Peak explains. If anyone figures out that we came in with the refugee ships, we'll be quarantined as well. Why is there a quarantine? Peak jumps in. The Eye has a closed-loop life support system, just like any orbital installation. Any unfamiliar illness or significantly increased strain on life support can cause a cascading collapse in its systems. Ash scoffs. We're making excuses for these bureaucrats now. Peak turns. We are being realistic, Ash. But these people aren't in increased strain. They are living people. Ash stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people into a single monolithic group. Ash slides the container full of mushrooms into one of the cargo hold's racks. Look, as much as I'd like to chat, we've still got space to fill up in this hold, so if you're gonna help... I think Ash is trying to say, we need your help, and quickly, Peak says, glancing at her. The refugees behind the cordon, they won't be able to hold out indefinitely. We need to get supplies to them in the next 12 cycles, or... Ash steps forward. Or, Havenage will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens next. What can I do? There's 3 things we still need to secure. Water, food, and scrap. Components for ship repairs. Ash gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water, we can find a way to source, or, my preference, just siphon off from the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Peak raises their eyebrows. Ash. She ignores them. For food, things can be tricky. Those mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but no way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae stack on the way over. If we can get access... Not more stealing, Ash, Peak sighs. I didn't say steal. She stares at them indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stack, harvest some algae for the flotilla. These stacks churn out vast quantities in short timescales. And the repair components? Peak asks, attentively. Ash smiles. Just look around you, Peak. This whole place is made of scrap. She shoots you a glance. And I'm sure the Sleeper has their sources. They can bring them right here. We get everything before time runs out. Perfect. We get most of it, also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have and go. But how do we get through? Ash shoulders the container. I thought I'd leave that up to you, Peak. They flinch. Are you serious? Ash, I know we said we would help the flotilla, but at what point? They stop. Take a breath. Take this seriously, Ash. I don't know the first thing about breaching a quarantine cordon. Maybe not, Ash looks at you, but they might. They slipped out from an SNR facility, didn't they? Plus, they've been here longer than us. You're always trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. She gestures at you. Help. Peak glances between the two of you. I swear to... I need to think this one through. Meet me at the cordon in a couple of cycles, Sleeper. Maybe we can figure something out. Meanwhile, Ash meets your eye. You can help me acquire the supplies. Discreetly. She smiles. We have to keep this quiet. Keep Havenage out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is over for all of us. This all suddenly seems a little too real, too dangerous. You've only just found your feet on the eye. This is not a time for causing trouble. Come find us. We'll be out there trying to pull this all together. And she goes to the back of the hold to start packing out the container. Peek, come help me. Peek glances back at her. Sleeper, look, we didn't choose this either. They lower their voice. Help us finish this. Ugh. I'm burping, sorry. We've set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke. You're welcome to rest there in any of the cots while we work on this. They smile. We're in this together. Peek, Ash shouts, and they walk back into the hold to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at a broken edge of the eye's ring, where Havenage's cordon blinks with tiny red lights. What are you getting yourself into? Oh, okay. So this is a place for us to sleep. What's this? Oh. Okay. Oh boy. Well, let's focus on getting these keys first before we start on that. Six or three, and this is 4 or 3. Let's do this. A glint, like a light traveling along the edge of the way, it fills your eyes. And the blade follows along ahead with 2 dead sockets, slipping towards you in silence. You freeze, hoping it'll pass you by, hoping that it will not simply slice through you like air. The blade head nears, slides past you. Almost. It nicks you, grazes you. You are desperate to cry out, to call out. But you hold your silence and simply watch the blind eyes of the killer glide past, empty of all thought. Then the blade winks into the dark, and you are alone again. Now, you cry out. Oh, you've already re-rolled, it looks like. Might as well put these in, right? Okay. We can track that person for Ankita, I think. But yeah, we're banking on getting that thing out of her, the tracker out of us on Feng's end. So here we go. I see. Just do this, I guess. And, well, don't really have anything you can do, so let's head to bed. And hopefully we roll whatever we need it is for the keys. Alright. 3 or 4. So I'm pretty sure this is definitely what we needed as well. One of these, at least, so we can hit up. It was another 3 or a 4, I'm guessing. So I'll just use a 3. Yeah. There we go. Then we slap one key thing in, and we help Navigator. There we go. Alright. Ooh. Well. Alright. Ooh. Come on. We got this. Oh, we don't got this. We definitely don't got this. Oh, Jesus. Sweet. We need to buy food from our buddy Emphas. And we go to bed again. Where is, Fang again? Oh, right. I think he's, like, up the top somewhere. Do we have any scrap? No, we don't. Only have 3. We also need money of some sort. Like, we need a place where we can earn money. So we are getting pretty low on funds. And then we need help them with the algae in the water, I suppose. As you leave, you find a note pinned on the outside of the door. It reads, "Sleeper, there's something you need to see. Meet me at the quarter as soon as you can. Just keep heading around the ring until you hit the flotilla. I'll be waiting. Peek." You pocket the note and glance around the corridor. Looks like you're doing this. Trying to make a plan. Yep, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more thingies for that. Let's go help thingy first, in my opinion. Navigator. We prioritize this. That's just DLC we could possibly do in the future, even if we lose it. Alright. As you blink into the cloud, you see the last flickers of life from the mainframe. This vast machine once ran the whole station, span it up, directed and processed the flow of energy, water, and data, fed the lives of thousands of people. Now it's finally dead. Navigator is beside you, and you both look out at the perfect ring that encircled you both, woven from the data branches that once fed the mainframe. You see a glint along its edge, and that familiar blade-like head rises to the surface, like the cresting fin of a shark, then slips into the loop again. All that you can see of Killer's body after After that is slight thickening of the loop, and that thickening begins to travel around on a long and slow sojourn that will last it forever. I am surprised at you, says Navigator, drifting faintly around you in a lazy orbit, as to shake off their imprisonment. Killer had been wandering blind for so long. Did you not think to end them forever? Perhaps they can be saved. You are naive. They are a killer by nature. Look what you did to their own home. Navigator gazes into the darkness. This place was their domain and prison, and they had followed their directives for the many decades they roamed here. They cut the threads of the mainframe, executed its administrator AIs, and then kept slicing. At some point, they cut away their own ability to see, to sense, to taste, to speak, and yet they kept cutting until only those 3 threads remained from millions that once thrummed here. Only their blindness and chance kept them from making those final 3 fatal cuts. There is a ceaseless violence in the kind of system that creates beings like this, those that will execute commands endlessly, even to their own destruction. Navigator looks to you for your thoughts. I will not continue the violence. The system you float in is one built of violence. You would be naive to believe otherwise. Navigator turns away. You watch the data points of the station spin around you, blending with the fixed stars. There's something satisfying about finally wrenching the last threads of control from this central point. It was little more than a ghost by the time you reached it, but this place deserves to be haunted by better ideas than a totalizing system of control. Navigator floats beside you. It is free now. This station no longer presents a hazard for illegal entities like me. They turn to you, their face a cloud of shimmering light. In fact, in time, perhaps it can be a refuge. A refuge. That sounds like something of value. Something worth building. A dark shape passes across your vision, a distant curve of something like smoke or oil, a fluid shifting tank of total darkness. The Greenway, says Navigator, following your line of sight. It was cut off at the moment of the collapse, so hunter or killer could never reach it. Now it is closed off to us, separated from the cloud. Is it dead? It may be totally dark, or perhaps some other old protocols are isolated there. Navigator turns to you, and we have now seen what decades of isolation can do to a protocol. If we could extract an access cipher. They pause and then blink out of existence. You freeze, shocked, but a moment later they reappear with a glowing polygon of data. Here, the cipher you need. You take it, still shocked. I am not used to being free, to being able to move and explore and extract without fear, without limits. Navigator does a little twirl. This will take some getting used to. Thank you for this gift. They whirl their spheres around you. The entities of this station will always be friends to you, Sleeper, and I to them. It is true that mutual need is required for friendship, but I must admit I had not considered the value of offering assistance without personal gain. I will think on that. Navigator loops around you rapidly, suddenly eager to test their newfound freedom. But first, I will explore. Perhaps there are still intelligences that hid themselves, as I did, encased in simple systems, cut off. Navigator glows. I should like to free them. And with that, they drift away, flickering, glowing, then shifting so rapidly you lose sight of them among the glittering rim of the eye. You feel a pang of jealousy. Free, without a body to weigh you down, or fear to limit you. How must it feel? Your eyes fall on the Greenway and its secrets, though perhaps that can wait until after you've celebrated this victory. Nice. You have 3 now, right? Yeah. Let's do this one. To be fair, we're not really doing this anymore. Let's grab this, this, and might as well grab this. Alright. Okay, so let's do the Haven, not Havenage stuff, sorry. The, whatever this is. Let's reroll these. No. This. Greenway game. That was a little scary. The Greenway roils beneath you like a silt-choked river. If what Navigator said was true, then no one has accessed these networks since the collapse. The Hunter and Killer protocols have never set foot here, never cleared out the intelligence and systems. So why then, you wonder, does it look so dark? Is it just that the bit rot has set in? The entropy of systems reducing everything to shadows and light. You watch as the slotted cipher fizzles in the one open to sort of gateway on this entire room in the station. It flickers and winks out, and then you are falling into the flow, or river of swirling darkness. You are spun by it, twisted by it, lost in it. It's not that Greenway was hiding in the darkness. It is made of darkness. It is filled by this substance, this process, this swarm. Now you're among it. You notice that a swarm is exactly what it is. 1 billion individuals moving in a flow. There's no network to map here, no nodes and threads. Only a storm of interchangeable points, shifting configuration endlessly. Then you see them. A figure turned away, the only bright spot in the dark river. You push closer through the storm. Ooh, how neat looking. Like a mushroom with like shards of glass or like, I don't know, rock. They are facing away, at least you think so. They're so fractured, so overgrown that it's hard to tell. Even from this distance, you can see their fleshes moving, flowing. You watch, silent, as they stoop and reach down. Their head is a dark shape, and with twisted fingers they press it down onto the loam of data beneath them, pushing it through this trembling soil. Then they move away, go a little further, and repeat the process, as if they were sowing a field. You push forward, but somehow, despite their slow and deliberate speed, they move faster, and they quickly fade into the storm. You reach a point where they planted the object and look down. There it is, a glassy, shifting polygon, with something inside. You reach down and pick it up. It is cold, but it thrums with energy. You look towards the path of the figure, but they are long gone. When you blink out of the cloud, back to the leaves and the dappled light of the Greenway, you hold a seed in your hand. Okay. Anything else? No? Alright. What is this? Gardener's seed. Seed. You need to find somewhere safe to plant this gift. Oh, I guess our house thingy. Yeah. Man. There's a lot we need to do all of a sudden. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm doggy dum-dum. I need spores. Yeah, makes sense. Alright, and let's do this. Okay, we got energy from that, which is good. Save money. Peak. Oh, right, yeah. Oh, God. 8. Sleeper. Peak captures your attention. From the shadowy corner they were leaning against. Any trouble getting up here? This place is huge. Certainly is. Havenage have been busy. Come take a look at this. They beckon you over to a nearby window which looks across the ruined ring to the blinking red lights of the Havenage cordon. The cordon's temporary structures and metal struts meant to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the flotilla jut out into black, and all around the tugs securing them in place and tending to the red blinking drones that demark the quarantine. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? Peak interrupts your thoughts. How would you get through? Pretty distraction. It's not a bad idea, but what kind of a distraction is big enough to get everyone to look away from the ship as big as Briar? Peak squints at the red lights. Surely they'd spot and seize the ship. Peak turns away from the window and rubs their forehead. Ash has really wrapped us up in something here, hasn't she? The question is spoken under their breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. Maybe we try all three. Peak laughs. I like it. At least we should prepare as many ways as we can. The way I see it, there are 3 parts to making it through that cordon. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cordon security into thinking that we are meant to be there. Maybe a target skirt would work. Anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, will be all about diverting attention so that no one looks too hard at what the Briar is doing. We can create a gap in the cordon scanning and deterrent systems that should keep them busy. Finally, speed will mean making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we could do a little work on the ship to get her ready. Ash surely wouldn't mind. They lean back from the window. How does that sound? Risky. Well, they smile. Yes, there is always going to be risk. That's how this works. You've got to be on board with that. Peak looks down at their slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out of the window at the cordon nervously. 10 cycles to gather the supplies and to prep this plan. It's tight. Peak looks at you. If this goes wrong, Peak sighs. Just get out, okay? They squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Ash anywhere, but you don't need to get dragged down with us. It won't come to that. Peak brightens up a little. Of course, but just keep it in mind. Let's get to it. Peak stretches. I'll tell Ash about the improvements to the Briar, and the rest, let's explore the cordon as best we can and look for openings. I have no idea what guardian angel sent you to us, Sleeper. Peak smiles. But I'm very glad they did. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. This is a lot. This is a lot. I guess we should just focus on helping them if there's no one else. I guess we can help the lady find stuff. We also need our money, man. It's kind of scary. Let's go back and buy some food. Ooh, this gives us energy though, apparently. No Central. No. Just buy from Memphis. We need money, we can get some somehow. Don't know how, but we'll get it. The scraps are going to be very difficult, in my opinion. Don't really know where to get them from. Well, 3 more cycles for that, too. Ooh. god, just the one again. Sheesh. Well, damn. Come on, give me the spores. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Well, tomorrow. I feel like we're not going to be able to do this DLC very well. Will we even finish? Like, damn. Memphis, food, please. Oh god, we're running out of money. Might be able to get the scraps. What's going on here, huh? Let's play in some Citizen Sleeper, Placid. How about you? What's going on with you? Alrighty. I guess. I don't know what it does, actually. Does that do anything? Oh, I mean, it's connected. It's not connected directly to this, though, so... Let's try to do some more water stuff. Or we can track that guy as well. I feel like we should track. Yeah. It's +3, +2. Yeah, it's better to do this. Sweet. Got some cash out of it too. I reckon we should probably inject after the next day. Which is left 2 more sleeps for the tracker stuff. Oh boy. We'll inject today, I suppose. So is this our last one? I think it is. No, we've got 2. It's fine. Oh god. We should really get some energy. But from where? Just need the 2. Hopefully this works. Just toss it away. Oh god. We need food. Food it is. And money at this point now. Tomorrow we'll have like a lot of shit to work with. At least dice-wise. Oh my goodness. This is going to take a while. We keep going with that. Oh god. Alright. The trail ahead extends deep into an overgrown section of the greenway. At this far end of the ring, where the long, lazy curve of the greenway becomes the shadowed landscape of the wastes, things are oddly quiet. Ahead stands a vast farm stack, broken from its axis by a ruster force, and lying amongst the overgrown landscape like an ancient temple. It is stained with moss and algae, flows of green running out from its broken tanks like a frozen brackish tide. This is where Ashton is hiding. You're pretty sure. All your intuition points to the shadows beneath this collapsed superstructure. You roll the comm headset Ankita gave you in your palm. You slip the headset into your ear and it fizzes with static. After a few moments, you hear Ankita. Sleeper, have you located the target? A doubt enters your mind. Can you be sure he is there? Yes, come now. Copy. Hold tight until I get there. Static cuts out. The channel dead. You hold your position and watch the trail. Ahead, the stars wheel with the motion of the eye, and your mind wanders. You try to imagine what this place looked like before the collapse. All ordered rows of crops, corporate pleasure gardens, glowing farm stacks. Now it is a wilderness, a strange overgrown biosphere bordered by the void of space. You smile, despite everything. It seems like an improvement. Sleeper, Ankita's hiss brings you out of your reverie. He's in the collapsed stack? I think so. She gives you a look. You better be right. Well, there's no way I'm following that trail. There's no way I'm following that trail. If he's up there, we'll have eyes on that for sure. She glances across the landscape. Let's keep to the undergrowth. Work our way around. She heads off towards the central spine of the greenway with you following close behind. It is slow going there, where the overgrowth meets the metal wall, but it is so concealed that you can barely see the glass roof high above. Ankita somehow seems to know where to go. Ankita works her way through the dense undergrowth, pushing aside branches and fronds. It is exhausting, and you desperately want to rest, but Ankita shows no signs of letting up. Up ahead, there is a faint glow from the collapsed stack. Ankita leads you around the side to a broken tank. You both step through the opening, trying to avoid broken glass that sits among the moss and algae. You work your way up the slanted tank, Ankita setting a deliberate pace. Somewhere, water drips, and you swear you hear birdsong. Hanging plants catch the light, coating the place in a pale and sickly green. Ankita reaches the edge of the tank, where it meets the central drum, and holds up a hand for you to stop. You inch forward and look over the edge. The vast drum is like a cistern, with plants growing on all sides, and wet, mossy islands at its base. It is beautiful, and for a moment you can't see anything but tones of green. Then you see the sleeper. In a faint circle of light descending down through the drum, the sleeper lies slumped at an odd angle. They are surrounded by crates, and beside them, on one of the mossy islands, there is an object. A cylinder set on a tarp is connected to the sleeper's head. You flinch. Are they one of the others? One of the ones that escaped with you? You squint, trying to recognize them. They are twisted, broken open. Wrong. You look away. Ankita doesn't look at you. She doesn't look at the sleeper. She fixes her eyes on the object. That's Amber's ship mind, she says. And you suddenly recognize the cylinder. Wait. You turn to Ankita to speak, but she's already gone. She jumps off the edge of the tank and lands on one of the mossy islands, her armor letting out a hiss as it absorbs the impact. The shot hits her shoulder piece, the ceramic armor cracking, but holding as she braces into the impact. Then she launches herself forward, the now activated armor launching her across the drum, where the shot goes wide before she reaches the cover of the crates beside the sleeper. Shit, you hear the shout from one of the tanks high on the far wall. Ankita reaches over and wraps a hand around the thick connection between the ship mine and the sleeper. What is she doing? You better come down here, I'll rip this right out of their head, she screams at the wall of tanks. You shiver at the suggestion. Stop! Quiet, sleeper, Ankita shouts. A shot rips through the moss beside you, filling your vision with green. The shooter must be somewhere on the other side of the tank. Do that again, and I swear to God I'll tear their head off, Ankita shouts to them. Sleeper, you stay down. There's a long pause. All you can hear is the dripping of the water running down the walls of the drum. Then Ashton calls out. I'm calming down, Ankita. Don't do anything stupid, for God's sake. He appears at the far side of the drum, stepping through the shallow water, rifle raised above his head. Drop the gun, Ankita shouts. He throws it down into the moss. As you lean out to watch, you see him catch your eye, clock in your presence. What are you up to here, Ashton, you sicko? She stands, keeping her sidearm trained on his head. You have my ship mind for what? Some freakish experiment? Ashton approaches with shaking hands, his eyes now fixed on the connecting bundle of wires that Ankita still has a hold of. Steady, Ankita. It isn't like that. I need the ship mind. You have to understand. They would have died without it. What are you talking about? I don't give a shit why you ripped my ship mind and crippled my ship. I should put you down right now. She tightens her grip on the connection. Typical of you, Ankita. No curiosity. Ashton smiles shakily. That's why I never asked for your help. You only looked after yourself. He nods at you. That sleeper up there, they're just bait, right? To draw me out? Ankita sucks a breath in. Are you trying to give me more reasons to shoot you? I love them, Ankita. Ashton looks at the crumpled sleeper. I love them, and they were gonna die. I knew you would never understand that. He starts closing the gap between himself and Ankita now, slowly inching forward. Don't do that, Ashton, Ankita snarls. Don't do that. Let the wires go, Ankita. Let us go. If you don't get out of my way, he inches closer. Please. I can't let you take it, Ashton. Ankita hardens her stare. You stole it from me. You left me for dead. She shakes her head. You think I'm gonna trust you? After all that? I need it, Ankita. I need them to survive. Ashton is in reach of the sleeper now. Of Ankita. I'm going to take them now, Ankita. He raises a hand. I'm going to take the ship mind and go. Ankita loosens her grip on the connection a little. Her hand is shaking now. Stop, Ashton. She lowers the gun a little. Stop. Seeing her drop her guard, he makes his move. A blur of movement, a struggle, a shot, another. You crawl back behind the edge as they ricochet around the inside of the drum, the sound deafening you. When you crawl back to the edge, Ashton is bleeding into the water, the red and the green. Ankita is standing at the center of the drum, the severed connection in her hand. The water drips endlessly. Drip, after drip, after drip. You force yourself to look at the broken sleeper. There is no sign of life, of humanity. They're just another broken object among other broken objects, while all around, living things grow and thrive. Ankita finally looks back up at you, tears in her eyes. She begins to say something that might be sorry, but you're already gone. Damn. Is there anything more for that? I didn't even get like an ending to it, right? Where are they? Where's Ankita? Oops. What is this place actually? Ooh. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Resta Greenway. Alright. How can we talk to them? God, that's scary. That is. I'm scared. There's so much shit going on, and we've got this to go through as well. Well, at least we'll have a lot of dice, right? A lot of good dice, too. Bang! When you enter the service dock, Fang is already set up, crouched among stacks of equipment. He's leaning over a terminal bathed in a blue glow. He looks totally at home. Sleeper, what do you think? Turns out not everyone in Haven is set against me. A couple of my old systems pals managed to ship me some of my old gear. He just shows up the pile of blinking hardware. Nice kid. Fang does a mock bow. Any updates? Fang beckons you over. He has a set of scans of the waste on this terminal, with heat maps of activity overlaid. A chunk of the derelict rim is blotchy with bright red and orange marks. Does this look like a wasteland to you? Fang shakes his head. There's hundreds of Conway machines out there, all lined up in concealed hangars, and a whole underground facility to support them. Hardin's got a crew out there putting them together. They must have shipped them in piece by piece to the shipyard, ready for assembly out here. Why? They are planning something. No one needs hundreds of heavy-duty reclamation drones to run this kind of operation. It'd be hard to mask this whole thing as an effort to clean up the wastes, but there's no way this is all pulling scrap off the eye. Feng looks worried. And why is Conway in the mix? I bet no one in Havenage knows another corporation setting up in the station. They aren't stupid either. These scans are the best info I can get. The weights are cut off from the eye's cloud of networks, and the greenway is a total dark zone. No data can come in or out. I can try. No use. You need to enter the cloud, and there's no cloud to speak of. He turns and winks. That's why I'm gonna pay them a visit. How? You forget Havenage come in and out of here. They're all cycle. Should be able to get in, as long as no one I know sees me. He grimaces playfully. But I need you on the outside to help disable security systems and cut me a pathway through. There's no cloud access, but if I can get inside, I can open up nodes in their network and we can work in tandem. It's a massive facility buried deep down there. Miles of corridor and ventways wrapped around cargo bays and hangars. So it'll take more than a few cycles to work through it. But as long as you can keep them off my back, I know I can rip what we need out of there. He pulls a handful of whippoorworms from his pocket and hands them to you. These are the last of my little helpers I managed to salvage, so make them count. I modified them slightly. This time they'll feed their data threads back into the system that they're tunneling into, creating a nasty little feedback loop. We run it just like we did with the agents. Hack the nodes I ping to locate the ports for the security system, then slot the worms in those systems and let them go to town. He points to a fuzzy silhouette of the buried facility in the terminal. Here's the entryway. This is where you can get access and slot the first worm. That'll fire their perimeter systems and get me past the first cordon. What I need from you is to keep your eyes on the facility after you kick things off. You see me pop up a security system? A server bank? You need to break in and slot a ripper to disable it as soon as you can. If I can. Feng gives you a hard look. You miss a system, you wait too long, they're gonna find me. Simple as that. He claps you on the shoulder. I need you focused in on this one. So I'm gonna let you fire the starting gun. I won't go until you slot that first worm. I'll leave a tracker running on the terminal here, so come back here if you want to see my progress. He affectionately pats the top of the screen. Got it. Don't worry, you can run rings around the protocols. I've seen it. Feng gets up. It's all in place. You just need to make your own preparations, then slot the worm. He stretches. Just don't wait too long. I'm getting bored of all this sneaking around. Once I'm inside, I'll get the proof we need to end this whole thing, no matter what. He crouches to check the terminal. We can't take longer than 6 cycles on this thing. Remember that. He stands up. Oh, and one last thing. He lowers his voice. If I get caught, or you can't reach me, or you run out of time, there's one thing I need you to do. What? You take whatever I managed to pull at that point, all that data, and you slot that stuff straight into the relay I've set up here. Points at a pile of servers and terminals hooked into the dock with cables as thick as your arm. I repurposed the dock's SOS broadcast system to beam out whatever you put in it. Anyone with a terminal, a slate, or a server on the eye will see it. That means Havenage, Yettingen, the hub, everyone. No matter what, Howardin isn't snaking away this time. He grins. I've got a bit more to do here, but the moment you slot that first worm, I'll make my move. He gives you a parting smile and turns back to the terminal. The nerves hit as you make your way out of the service dock. Time to prepare yourself. Yep, will do. As you slot the worm, a thread jumps up out of the facility. It unspools in front of you, releasing its data like ink and water. Sleeper, Feng's voice crackles through. Moving in. Nodes, then ports, aware of interference. Slot the worms. Timer starts now. Stay safe. The thread dissipates. You're on your own now. Well, at least we're getting money. What we'll need. almost done. Let's reroll this to a 2. Fuck, I should have just kept it. Well. Hold on, Fang. Sorry. We'll have to do this in one more cycle. Can we work on any of these? Ooh. Yeah, sure, actually. Repeatable, too. 10 cryo as well? That's insane. Take it. I don't need any of this. My fucking money. It's all good. Let's head over and give it a little sleeper. Ooh. How many left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my god. And then how much for... Oh. Oh. How many more for you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. God. Oh, doing both at the same time is gonna be just difficult. But we'll try. We'll try. Alright. Six or 4. 5. Sixes. Ripper worm. The red from this facility cuts through the cloud like a hairline crack of light. That's it. The final layer of security broken. Somewhere buried in the depths of the station, Fang is in control. He's slicing into the camera control circuits and piping out the result. The thread flickers and unravels into an image, a scene, 2 figures in a room, one sat, the other pacing. The pacing figure resolves into Hardin, the unmistakable superior posture, the shock of gray hair. The second figure's features don't seem to resolve. They are vague, unformed. A problem with the data, perhaps? You look closer. Then you see it. The figure is a proxy. Perhaps you should have expected it from Conway, a corporation whose very existence is owed to the automation. The proxy is a machine designed to be piloted by a remote connection, someone else in the system puppeteering it with their own body, speaking so it may speak. The proxy sits impassively, or the Conway executive that is piloting them does, from the distant safety of some ship or orbital colony, perhaps. We can move forward. There is no doubt, Hardin is saying. The reclamation teams are almost ready, and after that I will make the declaration. Nothing has to change. The proxy leans forward, its movement stilted, uneven, as if its body was being refracted through water. But things must change, Hardin. We need further assurances. I have been informed of a breach in one of the closed networks in the low end. You have been careless. Hardin waves the accusation away. We have been stretched. A breach was detected, yes, but no data of value was lost. Our board is concerned, Hardin. A drop in our value would be unwelcome at this time. The proxy leans back, its posture dominant. If the reclamation of AE-1 is contested, then we could be drawn into a compromising legal position. Hardin approaches the proxy. There will be no contest. Not from Solheim, who cannot muster a defense. Not from Havenage, who will fall into the line below me. He crouches in front of the seated figure, eye to eye. And the people of this station, refugees, gangs, spacers, all either opportunists or degenerates. Havenage is no longer strong, no longer united. No one here believes in Erlin's vision, nor has the strength to enact it. I sat across from him at the negotiating table. He was forceful, eager, weakened by his ideological convictions, perhaps, but a great man nonetheless. This place no longer deserves to bear his name. The eye is crippled. It cannot survive. It is a ruin filled with squatters and outlaws. They will be lucky if it still spins in 100 cycles. Hardin stands. You will move forward with the reclamation, because otherwise you will lose your advantage in the system. Without your advantage, you will lose claims on the remaining palladium. Without the palladium, your factories will go dark. He pauses. Do I need to continue? One moment, comes the response from the proxy, and its head drops to its chest. Hardin steps back and paces once more, awaiting the discussion taking place elsewhere in the system. You watch Hardin as he paces, as he considers his future. What goes on within a mind like that? In the mind of a man who would burn all those around him for a path to some imagined golden end? The proxy lifts its head. We are happy to proceed. We will legally claim the station formerly known as Solheim A1. A salvage within 6 cycles. Havenage is to assist with the transport of the illegal residents to Conway housing and labor facilities. The proxy judders to its feet. Conway will also claim 70% of the raw output of the reclamation process after losses have been accounted for. Hardin nods. I accept. The proxy reaches out to shake his hand like a marionette, and then the recording loops. You watch it play out a second time, gripped by a horrified fascination. There's a bluntness to the conversation, to its blatant disregard for humans as anything other than objects. Things to be moved, to be used, to be fed into structures, crushed, and losses accounted for, in the cells of tables, the margins of ledgers. You realize now that you are no different than anyone else in the station in the eyes of the people in that room, and those like them. Each body here can be recast as a piece of property, a tool, an expense, an acceptable loss. In one moment, they can be named a citizen, celebrated, protected, and in another, the very idea of citizenship can be used against them. That is what it means to live in proximity to a system like this. No longer. Not while the eye spins. You gather the recording, pack it into a polygon of the purest light. Then you drift down into the service dock like a falling leaf and find the relay. It only takes a second to place that polygon of the data, the recording, into the relay system Feng prepared, and then you watch as it bursts out, a web of threads heading out into the black to every network device on the eye. Let them see what power makes of a man. Nice. Very cool. Where are you now, Feng, by the way? Bang. Bang. Where is he? Two. Okay, good. It's fine by me, I guess. Let's get some money up in here. Nice. I think that's our that's gonna be our go-to spot. We gambling. Damn it. Well, Memphis, please give me food. Damn, this is taking a lot longer than I thought it would, to be honest. Maybe we'll finish it off in the next Cloudpunk session that it's meant to be. Down to 60 we go. I mean 70. I can't math, sorry. What was that? Alright, Ankita. You spot Ankita on the track to the farm stack. She has a box on her shoulder and is working her way down the slope. She sees you as she approaches. Neither of you speak for a moment. She looks tired, pale. Her hair is tangled and in clumps of dirt clinging to her armor. You both eye each other. Ankita. She holds up a hand. Sleeper. She takes a deep breath. I'm sorry for what happened. I truly am. She looks down. I'm sorry you ended up in the middle of this when all you have shown me is kindness. She rubs her face. I'm sorry. It's okay. She nods up, then looks at the stars. I've never... Thank you. Ankita shifts the weight of the box on her shoulder. I've been preparing for... She grimaces. Look, can you come with me? It's easier if... Lead on. Ankita leads on down the dirt path between the pillars. There is a wind passing through the greenway, a quirk of the air currents the biosphere maintains, and it ruffles the leaves softly. The sound makes the silence more obvious, more complete. You try not to think of the last time you were here. You've been trying not to think of it for the past few cycles. The image of the other sleeper, sprawled, twisted open, connected to the ship mind, has been hard to forget. You realize Ankita's leading you back there, back into the drone at the center of the stack. You pause, trembling a little at the threshold. She turns. What are you doing? She looks up at you with empty eyes. What needs to be done? You stand on the threshold and look up at the tanks, green and wet, some glowing with flickering grow lamps. You look down at Ankita, suddenly so small under this hulking ruin. The smallest she has ever looked. She places the box down. You follow Ankita into the stack through a low tank, entering the drum at ground level. It's just as beautiful as you remember, but it barely touches you. Instead, you check the apertures of the tanks for the glint of a weapon or a shadow among the moss. Ankita stops and you look down. The mossy island at the center of the tank is clear now, the equipment cleared away. In its place, a mound of dirt, loosely covered with moss. Ashton's rifle stands straight, half buried in the dirt at the grave's head. I buried them together, Ankita says without turning. You both stand there in silence for a little while. You think of questions you could ask about Ashton, about the sleeper. How long did you know him? She takes a moment to respond, and for a moment you think she won't, but then the words come gushing out. He signed on a while ago. He used to run recon for a corporate outfit, but he got sick of the pay. He joined the crew as a sniper, and the first few jobs were a breeze. He was so cold, disconnected. He always hit his marks. The last few jobs, though, he was different. I noticed that. We had had a period of extended shore leave on the Eye, and when he came back, he was changed. I assumed he just had too much time off. He was right. I never would have given the ship mind. I wouldn't have believed him. I've had crew members double cross me, undercut me, rat me out. That's the business. He wasn't a good person. None of us in this job are. This is how we die. Alone. She stops, not sure what to add. It seems like she's reaching for something, but she can't quite get there. You feel that gap between you, and as you do, it widens. The water drips, the moss trembles. You both stand in silence a while longer. You both feel it. Life creeping back in, the silence ending. Ankita shifts her weight and then starts to walk out. You follow her, suddenly eager to be back out in the open, in space of the greenway, to be away from this place forever. You stand outside and breathe the fresh air. You stare at the green leaves and the stars wheeling above them. That's it, says Ankita from somewhere behind you. You try to think something to say, but you can't. Ankita puts a hand on your shoulder. You turn back to her. At least take this. She forces a handful of cryo chits into your hands. It's what I owe. She looks at you desperately. You look down at the metal bars. Ugly little thing, you think. Ugly little things, you think. I mean, I don't mind just giving them back to her. But, like, I don't know. This seems like you're just being like, fuck you, man. So, I'll take it. You take the chits and turn without saying a word. You continue up the track, and she doesn't follow. You walk up the rise, the wind picks up, and the leaves shudder. You walk faster, trying to outpace your anger. The chits are heavy in your pockets, and you hate them for reminding you of how little a life is worth. What do we do? We need to kill time before thing, so let's help this out, I suppose. Two more would be good, so we'll do this. We'll get positive statement. There we go. Okay. Wow, this is a lot. This is like so much. There's no way I'm finishing this in 2 cycles. Oh my god. Shit, man. Oh god. How many more cycles do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh my, we're so boned when it comes to the DLC. Memphis, please. Some mushrooms. It's crazy, man. It really feels like we should be ending soon, but also doesn't, you know? Alright, we're gonna lose 1 dice, I think. Yeah. A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone. Why did I say it like that? A drone. Its fins adjusting as it hovers in place, floats in the corridor. Hello? The drone shifts a little, but does not respond. The drone buzzes closer, and a voice gurgles out of its speaker. It's distorted and strange. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Who is this? The drone clicks on words, and the recording starts playing again. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Inspect the drone. Move closer and the drone bobs away to a safe distance, but as if it does, you see the HA of Haven is emblazoned on its side. Could this be Feng's drone? Satisfied, it has delivered its message. The drone rotates and accelerates away, as rapidly as it arrived. You stare at it as it disappears from the sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. It's at the cordon then. Alright, Feng. As you enter the passage that leads through the cordon, a flash of movement catches your eye. The drone stops to make sure you've seen it and then flits into a side passage leading to a set of narrow stairs. You climb through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing to check you're following. Despite its lack of expression, there's something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins in sequence. After a long climb, you come out onto an observation platform. The cordon and the vast, ramshackle refugee ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect the situation. Something shifts nearby. The drone again? A woman is standing at the window, the edge of your vision. You aren't surprised, but you didn't notice her. She too seems impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder, and then she turns. Sleeper, sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense, she nods at the drone, but I've never regretted being cautious. She smiles a tight smile, holds out a hand. I'm Helene. Shake her hand. The tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look, she glances around at the observation deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plans, and she cuts in before you can respond. I understand your motives. You look at her and her overalls, the yellow markers, the HA sigil. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize a Havenage member when you see them. She glances around nervously again and moves a little closer. This entire situation, I'm not here to defend it. She glances back at the flotilla. No one is happy about this. Especially not the refugees. She sighs. I'm not your enemy here, no matter what you think. She pauses. Sleeper, tell me something. What does Havenage mean to you? A work in progress. She smiles. Fair, I think. Havenage is used to being criticized, in some ways being invited. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any meeting to propose new structures and approaches. Shifts her weight impatiently. As a counselor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. We're in a perfect system, yes, and each counselor, each member, each representative can be flawed and worse. She looks down. But we keep this place running, and that is what we do. And the flotilla? She turns and looks out at the clump of fractured ships. The flotilla is a problem. Can the Eye take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruin, Sleeper. What do you think the council discusses? The price of Garol? We make plans to keep this place spinning, to keep life support working, to ensure... Helene's slate chirps and a grim look passes across her face as she sees the notification. She looks tired, the screen light casting a rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Havenage works. I came to talk to you about your plan to cross the cordon, reach the quarantine, and supply the flotilla. She looks directly at you. I know you think you're helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this. Right now, halfway along the ring, one of the countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evaluate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees of the flotilla are left to enter the station. These debates are at a standstill. Helene walks to the window. Too many in the Havenage Council think of the flotilla as a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged. Protective, selfish. They seek only to benefit from the members. Only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is a danger to life in the Eye. If you're caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it'll only strengthen the hardline counselor's case. Criminals who stole a ship from XPR are undermining the security of the station? She shakes her head. Exactly what they want. The refugees need supplies. They do, and that's exactly what I want to give them, but unless the quarantine is lifted through a fair process, they will never get them. She sighs deeply. And those XPR spacers you're running with, Sleeper? Do you know anything about them? Why do you think the refugee flotilla came here now? Something is happening in the system. Something is pushing people out of colonies and outposts that have survived since Solheim collapsed. We need to be ready for whatever's coming. Ready to protect the Eye. I know the Eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you're still here. Help me protect it. Helene fixes you with a strong look. Persuade those spacers that this is the wrong move, and they will get caught, and the flotilla will be locked down. That Havenage will be delivered into those with the worst instincts. Forget this suicidal supply run with people you barely know. Help me fight for the Eye. Why don't you stop them? If I expose the plan, it's the same as if it goes ahead and they're caught. Every way I look at the Eye looks compromised. The quarantine justified. The hardliners get their scapegoat. Don't offer up the excuse that the hardliners need to lock the flotilla out together, to persuade the members they are the safest for our hands. She looks at you imploringly. Please. You look back at her and the flotilla behind, and you sense a desperation in her plea. Notification breaks the silence. Shit. She rapidly scrolls through the pages of the data. Sleeper, I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. Talk to the spacers. Help them see reason. And she quickly leaves the observation deck before you have time to respond. Stay for a moment, watching the lights of the tunnels in the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be on one of the ships, so close to your destination, and yet so far from it. And then you think of the Havenage Council Chamber, across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you two are gone, back into the stairwell in the cold dark below. Where is Fang? Is it one more that I need? He's here. Feng grins at you as the bay door slides open. Above, in the rest of the building, people are busy, frightened. They speak in hushed tones and organize endless meeting after endless meeting. Havenage have avoided a full-blown crisis for now, but change is coming. Feng is in good spirits and bundles you inside before you even have the chance to greet him. That was the slickest operation this station has seen, he hugs you firmly. You made my job easy. He shakes you by the shoulders. I'm so proud. And, he smiles, I got to watch through the cameras so the Havenage security that weren't in on it assaulted the station. Feng smiled. One of them straight up just whacked Hardin with their pistol. It was beautiful. What are they gonna do with him? I'm not sure anyone knows, but he's cooperating in dismantling his operation and scaring off Conway. Maybe they'll exile him when they're done, or hand him over to some core authority. Feng shrugs. Now I know you won't be an issue. I'm gonna be focusing on systems for a bit. He shakes his head, seeing as that's my actual job. He points to the ceiling. The people upstairs weren't so happy though. They've been fielding questions about the state of the eye right and left since the recording got out. People are scared. I'm not surprised. Yeah, this whole thing hasn't won me many fans in the administration. But I think in the end they'll agree that the outing of Hardin was worth it. Whatever the methods. He touches a stack of hardware. The eye is old, and it was never meant to run like this. The master control points that Erlin and Havenage have installed. They keep it spinning from the rim. That isn't ideal. But if you are asking me if the eye will stop spinning next cycle, no. He smiles. And me, and a ton of other skilled people, will be working to stop it from happening in the cycle after that. Hardin's problem was that he didn't believe in people. He believed in systems, and their ability to shape the world around them. Feng squeezes your shoulder. But as far as I'm concerned, people should be the ones running the systems, not the other way around. Anyway, Feng wraps on his side with the terminal. I know you didn't come here for a lecture. My tracker. I haven't forgotten. He produces a thumbnail drive. I managed to finish that code solution I showed you. It's a modified Ripper worm, one made to deactivate that tracker of yours. But in the time since I got back, I added something extra. That tracker of yours doesn't just show SNR where you are. It transmits data about the state of your body, your current condition. My worm won't just deactivate it. It'll edit that data to tell SNR if your body is irreparably damaged. DNR. Do not retrieve. He grins widely. Pretty smart, right? Thank you. Just slot it already. You take the drive and hold it in your hand. Then you close your eyes and open up your access ports. Take down your defenses. The worm immediately enters your closed network. It whips through it, taking things with it as it goes. The moment they are gone, you forget about they were ever there. They just blink out of existence. A second later, it is done. You open your eyes. How do you feel? Asks Feng, a little nervously. Tired. Aren't we all? He pats you on the shoulder. Take it easy. Things might be a little woozy for a minute. He looks at the terminal screen. Logs tell me if it worked out. It worked, so feel it or not, you were free. Feng lets the word free hang in the air a little before he continues. Seems like it might be finally time for a celebration. Feng wraps his arm around you. Jenna still owes us those drinks. He laughs and you join him. And later, when you leave, you feel deeply thankful for having such a friend. As you walk away from the building, you look up at the wide curve of the eye, up at the hub and the other rim beyond it. The whole thing twinkles with lights, and it seems impossible to see it as anything other than breathtakingly beautiful. It feels, in that moment, like something eternal. That doesn't mean it can or ever should last forever, or that it'll ever change, fade, or decay. It simply means that in this moment, this place has a future. It is one you know, deeply and truly, is worth protecting. Nice. Well, we have another scene, it seems. The compressor is almost empty when you enter. A couple of scattered patrons in the booths and a lone bartender. The bartender recognizes you immediately when you arrive and nods, and you return the greeting. You know already that you won't find Ethan here, but you had to be sure. With the tracker reporting you dead, you wouldn't have stuck around. You look at the empty stool, his empty stool, and you smile. You can imagine him on it when his slate chirps, letting him know that the target he was tracking is dead. You can imagine the screaming and the swearing too. Is that all you were to Ethan? Another target? Was there something else going on? Seems like a foolish question to ask now, when he has fled the station, but it bothers you anyway. You take one last look and walk out. You doubt you'll ever come back to this place, with the memories it holds. You walk back out into the lights of the bright market and allow yourself to smile. So this is what Feng meant when he said you were free. You could get used to this. Nice. What do we have? 3. Alright. I guess the game just ends after this many cycles. Yeah, there's no way I have enough scrap to give them. I mean, I could definitely buy it now. Like, no. What's here? No. We need to buy scrap, not thing it. What's up here again? That place is just completely foreign to us. Haven't even been there, anything. Made it worse. Nice. Let's get some food again, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish this today. So we'll probably replace one of the Cloudpunk days and push Nida back. Noita back, I guess. Yeah, let's sleep here. Oh god, we only have 2 cycles to help. I think we're boned when it comes to this. Sleeper. Peak is waiting for you when you leave, but they look different. Pale, drawn out. You need to come up to the briar, now. Don't meet your eye. What's happened? Not here. Peak hisses. Come to the ship. We'll be waiting. Peak walks away. Don't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. As you walk into the climbing briars, Cavender's Bay, now filled with crates and containers, Ash is waiting for you. In front of her, sliced open, with its insides scattered across the top of a heavy-duty crate, is an object you recognize. Helene's drone. You freeze. Come in, quick. Peak nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing the entryway. We have to start being careful. You move closer to the container, your eyes on the drone splayed out in pieces, some parts of it hooked up to a slate that Peak picks up and begins tapping away at. Ash looks up from the dissection. You caught it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. She leans over and taps the HA sigil on one of the removed pieces of plating. It's a Haven spy. We think we got it before it sent data back, but we can't be sure. Peak looks at you nervously. Ash cuts in. Have you noticed anyone watching you? Any drones like this? Anyone following you up to the briar? I've seen this drone. Ash frowns. Following you? Met its owner. Ash pauses for a while, Peak looking between the two of you. Explain, Sleeper. Ash says quietly. Tell them about Helene. You explain that you met with Helene at the Cordon, and you tell Ash and Peak about what she told you, that the Havenage Council are debating lifting the quarantine, but they are blocked by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, Ash walks away in anger, and then comes back again, her eyes burning. What is this, Sleeper? Have you understood nothing from what we've told you? She paces in front of you. Havenage are not your friends. They are administrators, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, their own causes. They divide people as easily as sorting livestock. The greater good of their work demands it, the wider project of the station, the colony, the nation. Her eyes are wide as she speaks, her anger barely contained. She wants to help. Ash laughs. Help what, Sleeper? Undo the mess of her own creation. She really wishes to placate you, so you'll compromise. So you'll do what is acceptable, not what is right. She's trying. Let me tell you something, Sleeper, Ash says, her rage hardening into pain. When people become administrators, they give up something. Some part of being a human, being an equal among others, goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the ways in which their hands are tied, or their process is compromised. My mother was the administrator of Hawthorne, and I've seen what it did to her, that noble, higher calling. It is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at the cost of their humanity. Peak tries to cut in, but Ash holds up a hand. Don't start, Peak. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm down. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong their suffering. Helene can help. Ash turns away. I'm done with this. You're risking this entire supply run just by being here. She walks back into the bay and starts checking the straps on the crates. I go next cycle. We don't need you anymore. Get out. Sleeper. Peak looks torn. You have to understand, this is personal for Ash. I know. Peak looks away, then at Ash. I don't know, Sleeper. I just don't know what to do. You glance around the bay of the Briar, the walls seemingly closer every second. This whole thing was closing in on you, and the question is, where do you want to be at when it all collapses? You look at Peak. And what do you think, Sleeper? Peak rubs their forehead. Should we do this thing or not? I don't know. Peak nods. Me neither. You look at Ash. But you see her? She knows. She saved my life, so I'm going to say we do it. They squeeze your shoulder. Onward. They slip away to help Ash, leaving you alone to replay the conversation in your head, seeing kind of grim determination settling in the room. Last chance to repair. Shit, man. You meet Peak leaning in a corner of the canteen in the typically unassuming way. It occurs to you, as you approach, that Peak must have had some practice at staying invisible. Oh, good. They look up from their slate. That crew you were talking to. They nod to the group leaving the canteen. Will they join us? They'll do it. Nicely done. Peak beckons for you to follow as they peel off the wall and head out in the walkway overlooking the Cordon. Glad you were here to talk them into it. I never had much of a way with talking with people. Peak smiles and looks away quickly as you walk. Why's that? Well, Peak pauses. Maybe it'd be more accurate to say people never had much of a way with me. They squint, irritated by their own odd turn of phrase. What I mean is, people have caused me a lot of trouble. I've had people hate me without knowing a thing about me. They tuck their hair behind an ear. I'm sure you know the feeling. I do. Peak glances at you. Sorry to hear that. It marks you, am I right? I try not to think about it. Peak nods. Don't let me make that any harder. Peak leads you around a corner, heading back to the main quarter next way. I appreciate you coming in and helping us out with this Sleeper, on taking the crew, and, well, you know, maybe after this insane plan is done, we can talk properly. They keep looking ahead, and you realize that they are nervous. I'd like that. Peak smiles, looking down at their feet. That's settled then, they say to the floor. I better report the news to Ash. We have ourselves a tug escort. Peak stops at an intersection. See you soon, Sleeper, and please, take care. And with that, they drift away, their head down, their gait changing as they do, their practice invisibility shrouding them like a cape. God. We have to do this as best as we can. Ooh. Shit, man, we're so boned. We are so boned. Sleeper time. Yeah, man, this place is this DLC part is gonna be so rough. Yeah, we need to get him off our ass. Ooh, good, good, good. Oh, we're not gonna make this. We're so boned. Ooh, we lost that 50-50. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yep, we're boned. We're absolutely boned. That DLC is not, we're not gonna start very well. That's for sure. Oof, 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 oof. Oh god, oh god. I'm so scared. Yep, we're boned. Oh my god, they're gonna leave tomorrow. They're gonna leave tomorrow. She's gone, Sleeper. Peek is breathless and shaking. She started the run without us. Esh? Peek looks confused. Who else? Let's go. If we head to the corridor now, Peek starts back up the corridor. They turn back. She has to make it, Sleeper. She has to. A shiver runs down your spine. Ash, I hope you know what you're doing. Oof. You arrive, frantic and anxious at the cordon. Peek is nowhere to be seen. Then you hear footsteps hammering on the metal stairway Helene's drone led you before, the one that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs, 2 at a time, and make it to the top, momentarily blinded by the light pouring into the observation deck. Sleeper. Peek emerges from the light. She's just... I know she's trying to protect me, but... It's okay. She chose. But what about my choice, Sleeper? I'm not a child anymore. I can fight for myself. They turn away. There she is. Peek rushes to the wide window, leaning forward to catch a glimpse of the climbing briar's blue XPR livery amongst the black of the void. You spot the climbing briar, a glint of blue and white, and beside it the red glare of a tug's lights. The tug crew went with her. Peek smiles. I knew they'd keep her word. That'll help. Peek doesn't seem to hear you, but the idea of a crew backing up Esh makes you smile. Maybe this thing will work. You watch as the briar and its tug escort arc down towards the edge of the cordon. Demarcated by the red lights of the perimeter system. So far, so good. The briar will just look like another refugee ship being escorted into the cordon, at least at a glance. Peek grips the rail as Ash reaches the edge of the cordon, that invisible net of sensors splayed between ships and drones. Can she pass through? The response is immediate. The moment the briar hits the net of sensors, the entire cordon reacts. Sequences of blinking lights cascade out from the ship's position, the angry red of the cordon multiplied many times over. Shit. Peak presses a hand against the window. Go, Esh, go! As if first wanting to peek, the Briar goes into a steep dive, plunging through the skin of the cord and into the mess of the ships beneath. You move closer to the window without thinking, unable to take your eyes off the rapidly descending ship, spinning between the hulls of the flotilla, a group of tugs now tracing its path in pursuit. She's going to have to do this fast. Peak looks concerned as the Briar reaches for a place to dock. You glance around for pursuing tugs, but for the moment, they seem to be elsewhere. Esh pulls the ship in, aiming to dock with the largest of flotilla's ships, a vast converted tanker, half of its protective plates removed. You think about the effort it must have taken to get that thing all the way here from the inner system. You watch the Briar, unable to get any sense of progress from its flaccid exterior. They'll be offloading everything now, Peak says, both assuring you and themselves everything is going to plan. Sorry, my phone is running out of battery. So, it looks like I should have just done this after the... Because I thought I'd get an ending once the thing in my head, in our head, like, got taken out. So I should have just done this after, so I didn't have to rush. Damn. 3 floating, Peak says, both assuring yep. You cringe a little at the idea of how empty the Briar's Bay was when Esh left. It was the best you could do with the time you had, but it's hard not to imagine how things could have gone better. Now is not the time for regrets, and an offer of something will be very welcome, no matter how small, given the situation. You focus on that as you watch the Briar, continue the nervous wait for it to finish unloading. It's breaking off, Peak points at the Briar, and you see the puff of air and dust that accompanies an emergency depressurization. Esh must have ended things early, but why? Then you see them, the tugs closing in on the Briar. Havenedge must have spotted the ship. You and Peak are up against the window again, willing the Briar a safe path out of the flotilla. The Briar drifts down the flotilla, but it's agonizingly slow. Come on, Esh! Peak shouts out in desperation, pressing a palm against the glass. You squint at the gathering yellow glints of the tugs. They are too fast. You both watch in dismay as the tugs swarm the Briar, their shunts locking onto the hull of the ship and holding it in place. The Briar is stuck, its drives unable to escape the tug's grip, especially in the close quarters of the flotilla. Peak is silent, and you watch as the Briar is dragged away towards the facility at the edge of the rim, a hole opening up in the pit of your stomach. You look at Peak, but they don't respond. They don't take their eyes off the Briar. Even after it disappears, they stand there at the glass, their eyes fixed on the flotilla. She didn't even get the supplies through. Peak doesn't look at you. This was all for nothing. I'm sorry. This was stupid, Sleeper. Peak looks back at you, their eyes wet. A stupid plan. We had a ship and our freedom. Now what do we have? Peak slams a head on the glass in frustration, making you jump. I won't be trapped again. I won't. They turn and rush out of the observation deck before you can say anything, leaving you alone with the cold and the light. Damn. Well, looks like we can sleep. Like, there's nothing of the thing coming back, so we can just have the rest of the game. And I kind of fucked it up because I didn't know that it wouldn't end. I thought we'd like the cycles would keep going and then it wouldn't end. So crazy, actually. Can we even buy another thing? Like, how do we get more of the, like, I don't even have any more. Huh. But oof. Well, I guess, to be honest, we'll just end it there for now. I'm kind of annoyed, or sad, I guess, that I didn't have to do all that. Like, we could have gotten a better result for that if I had known that the game would just keep going. To be honest. But that's it, I suppose. It's, oh well, I've had a lot of fun so far. And we can keep playing, I guess. I'll just keep doing the rest of the story and stuff. We've got a very good dice. I'm just a bit annoyed that the thing stopped at the beginning, the stream crashed. Yeah. I think for now we'll head to the menu. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I think technically we've kind of finished. I guess the message or whatever is that we're just fucked anyway, right? If we can't find more of those, what's it called? The stabilizers, we're pretty much just gonna break down, whether we like it or not, I guess. Yeah. Let me search up some stuff. Oh, let me make sure to mute this as well, actually. Hello? That's the one. Alright. Where can I go? Yeah, I think we'll end it there for now. But I think we'll just start playing Cloudpunk and then we'll come back to this later, I suppose. Oh, we're the only ones screaming. Citizen Sleeper. Oh well. Yeah. I would say we're pretty much finished, but I think it'll be good to see what we can do before we eventually break down, I suppose. Unless there's other ways to get more things. But I think we've gotten quite a bit of stuff done. I think we got the bad end for what do you call it? Ankita's thingy, because it said the bad end on the achievement I got after that. But yeah, I think we would have needed to do the ship mind at the beginning. Like we need to get them the ship mind so that theirs didn't get stolen, I guess. But yeah. I'm really glad we got to see Sabine's things through. I liked them a lot. And obviously Amphis, but we did Amphis pretty much in the second or the third, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, I just wish they made it a little bit more obvious that I wouldn't get an ending, I suppose, depending on like if we got our like the tracker out of us. I'm glad we got that out of us too. I liked Fang. I feel like I also took too much of a centralist thingy about the refugees and stuff. But I was trying to see if there could be a in between. But I guess the messages, it's those kind of things are hard. It's very hard to do something like that in this world, just like in real life. And you know, not everything can be solved just amicably, I suppose. You know, I guess if we had helped her, she'd be like seen more of as a hero, but she didn't get to put the stuff in, which kind of sucks. And we'll continue whatever that is next time, I guess. We can finish off the DLC and maybe do some growing and chilling out. But I think for now, we'll put a hold onto this series. Let's finish Cloudpunk later. Yeah. Thank you to anyone that tuned in, is lurking, or, you know, watching the VOD. Really appreciate it. With that, I think I'll end this stream here. Yes. Alright. Thank you, and goodbye.